the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Platt, would you do an attendance roll call?
Happy to,
please?
Madam President. Mayor Roman is absent this evening. President Percival.
Here.
Vice President Capabianco.
Here.
Mr. Bull.
Here.
Mr. Costa is absent. Mrs. Giannis.
Here.
Mrs. Haynes.
Here.
Mrs. Strobeck.
Here.
Chief McEwen. Here. Mr. Wills.
Here.
Mrs. Catania.
Yeah.
Mrs. Stillwell is substituted. Ms. Matagi. Mr. Kronkwitz.
Here.
Ms. Morris.
Here.
We're good to go?
I would entertain a motion to accept the March of 25 council meeting minutes. Second.
Make a motion to pass last month's minutes.
Second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Any correspondence, Mr. Secretary?
No, ma'am. Nothing this-
The mayor's report?
I will read the mayor's report. For the period of March 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2025, we have 3 crimes reported. Calls for service were 90. Most prevalent, we had 6 medical emergencies, 6 suspicious persons, 8 building checks, 14 assist other agencies, 2 domestics, and 5 service calls for alarms. We had 2 accidents, 25 traffic details, 19 motor vehicle stops, 3 citations, 19 warnings, and 3 non-traffic citations.
Did Chief Leamy leave a report this evening?
I have one. It was on my desk when I came back tonight. Will we read it? Parkside Fire Company Chief's Report for March 2025. The fire company responded to 41 calls for the month of March. 5 building fires, 15 medical calls, 4 motor vehicle accidents, 1 pedestrian struck, 3 rescue other, 1 gasoline spill, 2 carbon monoxide incidents, 1 arcing electrical incident, 3 dispatched and canceled en route, 1 odor of smoke, 1 smoke detector call, 3 automatic fire alarms, 1 special incident call. We received a recommendation letter from our state representative for the grant. Hopefully this will help this grant along. Don't forget that the food pantry will be open tomorrow morning from 10 to 11. And if you know anyone in need of the pantry when it's not open, you can call the station and someone will let them in. Please remember that the pantry has 2 bins out front for donations. Your support will help feed a needy family. Dave Landy.
Ladies and gentlemen, does anybody wish to address council for agenda-related items only?
Russo at 142 East Rolling. I see we have the agenda, we're going to get a full-time officer. In January, when we had our new chief of police, I asked the same question, and at that time, the question was, no, we didn't need anybody, and because I also asked for whether or not we could financially afford one, and one wasn't available, or the money wasn't necessarily there for us. Why has that changed?
Because we have one full-time officer who's leaving the department and he will be replaced with a.
Oh, okay, I understand. Thank you.
And we were just told we may have a part-timer leaving.
Oh, okay, then we're taking care of the people who are missing. Okay, fine, thank you.
Anybody else? Moving on to the president's report. I would like to start off by congratulating our solicitor, Mr. Wills, for again being on one of the top government attorneys in our county. So congratulations, Jay. A belated happy birthday to our engineer. Happy birthday, Lisa, again.
I want to celebrate them anyway.
Not enough candles, like me. I'm 75, man.
early-
You know how many candles I would have in mine?
Yes, an early happy professional administrative day to our wonderful
Yeah, we don't
secretary.
do that.
You get flowers next month.
Moving on to
Thank you.
actual business, council has been notified that we're fortunate enough to receive a PICO 2024 Green Region grant in the amount of $5,000. This grant can be used in conjunction with several other projects going on in our woodlot. I would like to remind anybody, if you have any questions or concerns about any of our government issues, please take a look at our very transparent website. I believe we have one of the best in the county, so please take advantage of that if you have any questions or concerns. One of the items of business this evening is for council to approve an intergovernmental agreement between the Penn-Delco School District and Parkside Borough Police Department regarding future implementations of an automatic school bus traffic safety system. The school district plans to install cameras on all their school buses, which would capture motorists who violate or overtake any school bus that are stopped on a highway with flashing light signals implemented. I personally think it's a wonderful idea for the safety of our children. How many times have we seen it on TV or social media in which a school bus is stopped and a vehicle has gone by it? You will see also on the agenda this evening for a resolution to move us forward with another grant. Any type of match money will come out of the 2026 budget, and that would be projected in the fall when we start our budget project. So with that, we're going to keep moving. Right now, we have a guest this evening from Delcora. I'd like to introduce Michelle Jackson, and she's going to give us a very brief presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Michelle Jackson. I'm the Community Engagement Outreach Coordinator for Delcora. This is my second time to your meeting. I wanted to come back out to make sure that we kept the borough up to date on what's happening at the plant and in our processes. So we have a couple of different opportunities. The first one is we are offering a water-based STEM program to all of the elementary schools in the local area. I have reached out to Parkside Elementary to come out and teach children in an interactive format how wastewater is processed, about the amount of water that we recycle, which is between 30 and 40 million gallons a day, and how that water is returned back to our public source. Or our public resources. If we use it with a realistic cityscape that's portable that the children are able to interact with, as well as custom coloring books that walk them through the process of wastewater. So if any of your elementary school teachers or principals are interested in that, then you can certainly reach out to me and I'll schedule them as soon as I can. We are still offering walkthrough Wednesdays. I know when I was here before, we talked about you guys coming out and do a tour. So every other Wednesday during the spring and the fall, organizations are able to come out and tour the wastewater plant so that you can, like the children, understand how wastewater is processed, how we clean the wastewater, and how it is returned back to the public system. So you can also reach out. You can also reach out to me for those as well. There are a couple of projects, some that are happening in 2025 and others that are projected for 2026. I guess the most impactful for Parkside is our inflow and infiltration reduction program. So Delcora is working with local townships and boroughs to review their systems and their pipe systems to make sure that there's no leaks or that leaks can be reduced. And the way that happens, we use smoke for that. So smoke is put into the system and you can see it coming out of the grates and things like that. That helps us to identify with cameras where the leaks are, and then we prioritize those so we can get those repaired. Our goal is to find the most severe leaks and take care of those first. So I'm sure the engineer has talked with our team. If not, I can definitely put them in contact with you if we need to come back out to Parkside. There's a couple other improvements that are being done to the plant. One is we just finished our secondary clarifier, the newest one has been finished. It's been opened and it is online. It is helping to reduce the number or the amount of any solid waste that comes through our system. And our other large secondary clarifier is going to be modified in order to bring it up to the same level. That will make the system a lot more efficient. And so that's happening. That is in process now. We're also going to be replacing our temporary odor control system. 2 years ago, a temporary odor control system was put on one of our buildings that is the most offensive and the closest to our neighbors, while the permanent system was being built. So that is now been built, and it will be installed probably by probably June, and then it'll take between 8, 9, the longest 12 months in order to get everything installed. And then we are also working on a UV light project that is going to make sure that we are able to keep our effluent bacteria free, but it will also help to improve our environmental impact by reducing harmful gases. So we are working on that process. That is further out, summer of 2026, so probably between 12 and 15 months away. It's going to lower our carbon footprint, and it's also going to modernize our wastewater disinfection process. And that installation is not required by the EPA or DEP. It is a DELCORA initiative to make sure that we are using the most environmentally effective processes that we can. That's about it.
Do you have any literature that we can have for our residents put in our lobby?
No, not about this stuff, but I can bring some things about the elementary school process, that offer, and the the walkthrough Wednesdays.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Any other questions or concerns or
Did you hear
compliments?
anything back from the school?
Not yet. Not yet.
I know that you have document or pamphlets for what can and cannot be put down a drain.
We do,
Could you bring some of
Absolutely.
those as well? Because
absolutely.
I think of anything, that's what we've got to work on.
Okay.
Just so everybody's aware, you don't own your system. The system is owned by DELCORA. So we're not doing the same things. I don't have Sarah Latham and a few other of the staff contacting me concerning I&I issues. They're doing them in-house. They're not involving us. But I will tell you a funny story that years ago when we were doing smoke testing in one of the municipalities, somebody called and they were having, they were extremely upset that their house was on fire. And they called the police, they called 911, only to find out that they had a floor drain in their basement. So the smoke from the
So it's coming
smoke
back
test
What's
was
coming
going
back
up through their basement.
That's
So
scary.
I don't know when that's going to happen, but it gave everybody a few chuckles that somebody was concerned their house was on fire. But we caught them with a floor drain.
Yeah, I don't know if that's illegal or not, but, and just to clarify, the way that the system works is your homeowners are responsible for their sewer pipes from their house to the street. And then DELCORA is going to be responsible for all of those pipes going from the street to our system, to the pump stations and all until we get to the plant. What the importance of understanding that is when there is any type of blockage in your sewers, it is important that homeowners understand that they're financially responsible for everything that happens from your house to the street. So making sure that you don't put anything except what comes out of your body and toilet paper in the toilet is critical. Anything like Q-tips and floss, dental floss is one of the largest, the most dangerous things to put into your pipes because it balls into a ball and it sticks to itself. So it just becomes like a big giant mass of stuff. And we are not able to serve homeowners as far as like cleaning pipes. One, we can't take the financial risk, and our equipment is just too big to go into your homes because your pipes are smaller. So yes, I'll make sure that you get that information. We're also going to be hosting a series of interviews with people throughout the county who are working in related fields and helping to explain and break down the processes a little bit more so people can understand them, in layman's terms, and we'll be posting those on our website. So when those happen, then I'll be able to make those announcements to you guys as well.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you,
Can I
guys.
just ask you one quick thing?
Sure.
If you don't mind?
No, I
If I
don't.
can connect with you
don't.
before we leave for the evening, or if anybody else here already has your contact information to give to me, that would be great, because we have an upcoming community day. And Sarah just brought it to my attention, it might be a good idea if you have that availability for you or another representative to be there, because there'll be a lot of people from the community there.
Okay, you can give me
It's
a
in
call.
May, but yeah, if you and I want to exchange,
Yeah, I'll give you my
contact
card, for
information,
sure.
Perfect, thank you.
All right.
Oh, you do? Okay, Bob has it too, so I just didn't want to keep you if
Oh,
you're
no worries.
gonna hang out or not.
No
so.
worries. If you guys don't
All right.
have any more questions, that sounds great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for inputting this. I'm so glad you brought that up.
We'll go back to the regular order of business with the financial report. Mr. Bull.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen, the report to Parkside Borough dated April 11th, 2025, meeting April 16th, 2025. All bank accounts have been reconciled through March 31st, 2025, and are included in the bank reconciliations and statements for all reconciled funds for council's approval. The general fund for the month of March, $14,403.19 was deposited into TD Bank, with expenses of $4,428.40 that were paid. During this time, $148,191.34 of deposits were received into the Sharon Bank General Fund account, and $150,051.42 of expenses were paid, including payroll and related expenses of $57,964.56. Year-to-date income interest across all accounts was $5,868.74. Below are the bank balances per the bank statements of March 31st, 2025. General account fund, Sharon Bank, balance $35,327. General account TD, $67,780. General account Pliget, $488,933.34. The rest of the accounts are de minimis, but are accounted for. This is still our, I will call it our time of bleed, because we are definitely spending more money than we're getting in. We're still, I don't know if we shifted from to face value yet, but we're still in that time of getting money in and moving through. So frugality should reign true unless it's an emergency. With that, I will make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like to make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved.
Thank you very much. Moving along to the open space report, a lot has happened in the last year, or last year, but in the last month down at the woodlot, the contract that you guys were generous enough to approve with very limited note, has been taken care of. They took down a lot of trees, they did a lot of work. It really does look a lot nicer, and you're starting to see some of the understory trees coming up through. And I think that'll help position us well for the grants that Ms. Lisa, or the engineer's getting us for. I'm sorry. Miss Catania and Catania Engineering, I'll be professional. As far as that with getting plantings and things like that. And much to my surprise, both of the contractors that we had out basically said that they would like to help out with the memorial garden that the junior councils are working on, as far as some, small either contributions in labor or a few things like that. And the one said that they would be interested in doing a day of like donated work over the winter next year, because I think they saw the overall, like how far along things are coming. And I guess they made a few dollars too. So, but it looks nice. And there were some trees that were legitimately hazard. Even if you look at the stumps, they were completely undermined, and they were over top of equipment that we've paid a lot of money for, and trail that we're trying to maintain at a very high level for people to enjoy. So, and we were down there today, and there was people enjoying it and walking the trail and having a good time. So with that, I will report general progress.
Did we get any photos of the work?
Being actually done, no, but I definitely have a couple before and after I can share with council.
Share with Miss Sarah for the newsletter?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Tried to do some real-time stuff with that, but to send the email to everybody with the photos, for some reason, kept crashing back on me. So I do have them, and was more than happy to share them. And you can tell the difference. It's absolutely beautiful. Even where the Boy Scouts planted the trees, they went through and knocked down the multifloral rows, so you can actually see where the one Boy Scout had done the railing, Winarski, and then the Boy Scouts did a project where they planted 2 red buds and a red maple right at the top. They were all overgrown with multifloral rows, and it's all cleared back. I think it looks cool. So, but with that, I'll report general progress.
One more question. This winter with the Christmas tree at the memorial, it died.
Yeah, the fall was pretty tough on them. Yeah.
It's a good time to plant. So can we contact Delaware County Arboretum? Maybe a free tree, or maybe we can purchase something that's like
The nurseries literally would just restock, so it's only been a couple weeks. Blue spruce are notoriously somewhat expensive and fickle, but we certainly can source one, and I can just let everybody know, and we certainly can pick it up and like planted trees in Borough before. But
Well, we need to find a good location, because that location was not the best area to put it in.
I agree with that.
Seriously.
No, I agree, 100%.
It was a space that we had, but it's not necessarily where it should be.
Doug, thank you for doing that.
No, it's my pleasure. I get to see it.
Bob, did Michael leave a report?
He did. He states that he will be out of town for this meeting. He says, for junior council, I don't have anything to report, but I believe Daniel and Brianna will. I turn it to you.
Alright, so I just have a quick report about the Memorial Garden. Like Mr. Bull said, we met down at the woodlot with Tree State, and they discussed about a layout, and they'll begin work digging up the area this Friday. I'm not sure if that'll interfere with the Easter event that's coming up for recreation. Is that down at Parkside, or is it at the woodlot?
It will.
Oh,
The Easter egg hunt Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm. How about digging Saturday afternoon?
they're not available over the weekend. So I can text them, maybe try and reschedule it to Monday, but if all goes well, then we'll be on track to start planning on Tuesday, which is Earth Day. If anybody wants to volunteer or wants to help plant, please reach out to my mom so we can start getting a list of everyone that will come down to help. I'll have a specific time for Tuesday whenever you guys are ready. And like I said, just please reach out to her. You can text her on her phone number or reach out on Facebook. But that's about it. I will try and reschedule the digging for like Monday or something, so that way it won't interfere with the recreation.
Thank you, Daniel.
I also just wanted to say thank you for the flowers that I received last month.
We're glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
What a terrible thing.
Yeah, it really was.
Glad to see you though.
You want me to do recycling now or wait till we get
Please,
there?
we'll just keep going with Michael's report.
There will be an e-recycling event at Parkside Elementary School on Saturday, May the 10th from 9 to 12. It's free to borough residents. Our trash total for the month of March was 82.37 tons. The recycling total was 17.05 tons.
Is that it?
That's it.
Super. Recreation, Miss Allison, do you have to report?
I sure do.
Sorry.
I got it. Sorry about that. As some of you may know, the Recreation Committee had to reschedule the annual Easter egg hunt from last Saturday to this coming Saturday it's going to be, so that's the 19th. Because of the rain, the torrential downpours, the rain, and just the saturated ground would have been awful. So the egg hunt will be this Saturday. It starts at noon. Parents, don't forget to bring your children's baskets or even a bag to collect the eggs. We have 3 age groups that'll be there for the egg hunt. Ages are up to 4 for the first one, 5 to 8 for the second one, and then 9 to 12 for the older group. And there will be 1 winner from each age group. Also, we'd like to remind the residents that our next event is the Community Day, and that will be on Saturday, May the 17th from noon to 4. We're excited about the amount of responses we've gotten this year, probably triple the amount of vendor participation. So it's going to be very busy, and we're super excited about it. We have lots of community organizations, Health and Human Services, people with their homemade goods and, rides and all kinds of things. So we're really looking forward to it. So that is May 17th, noon to 4. So put it on your calendars. I want to take a minute to continue to thank our volunteers for all the work that they put into the recreation events, because we wouldn't be able to do any of it without them. And we're always welcoming committed volunteers to help with the recreation committee. It's very rewarding to be involved, with your neighbors and your friends and the residents here. Our next recreation meeting will be May the 7th. They're always on the first Wednesday of every month. And that's it for recreation.
Any questions for recreation? Moving on to police, public safety, Vice President Caparia.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to authorize the Civil Service Commission to create an eligibility list to the position of full-time patrol officer in the Parkside Police Department.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Code enforcement, I can report general progress, license inspections, permits were granted for the month of March, 11 building, 4 plumbing, and 1 mechanical. And I can report general progress.
So thank you. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. First thing I'd like to do is review and make a motion to approve Resolution 1891, which is the SLA grant in the amount of $250,000 for the EMS apparatus. And basically, what that is that it just states that we will, the applicant does hereby designate Be it further resolved that the applicant does hereby designate our council president, borough council, and Robert Platt, our borough secretary, as the officials to execute all documents and agreements between the Borough of Parkside and the Commonwealth Financing Authority to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant.
I'll second that.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Next is a motion to approve Resolution 1892, which is a Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program grant in the amount of $40,000 for use of the Woodlot Master Concept and Landscaping Plan.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? So moved.
Also, Madam President, if I may, would like to let everyone know that we met with our planning committee for our mini pros grant that we received and got an extension on. And we discussed we are going to send out a QR code to Sarah to put in our newsletter. So that way, when the residents see this, they can scan the QR code to fill out or possibly and answer any survey questions. So anything that you would like to see, such as some of the things we discussed in our meeting, was one of the biggest goals of most of our members was to draw more people to the Woodlot and Wesley Cole Park. Some of the ideas included maybe to investigate an alternate layout for West Cole Memorial, flowering gardens or additional plantings, bee, hummingbird, bird apartments, assess monument arch or similar at both parks, small scale pop-ups. Somebody mentioned a lemonade stand, backyard farmers market, etc. at West Cole. Just some ideas of some things that you would like to see maybe used at the Woodlot or seen. So maybe walking through maybe something else that you would like to see. And so just to be on the lookout for this QR code that will be in the newsletter. We decided to do it that way. So that way, that everybody would be looking at that. All of our residents are used to getting a newsletter by now. I didn't want to see any additional newsletter or news or information put out about the QR code and getting lost in with other literature or mail or in the door and somebody to think, wait, this is trash, or might not look at it. But the newsletters, it's in the newsletter. Our residents are used to saying that. And then also we did discuss for maybe if somebody doesn't know how to use and to access a QR code, putting something on our website, or maybe setting up survey questions here on the table outside of Borough Hall in the outside in the courtyard, in case the borough office is closed, if somebody would like to take that as well to answer questions.
Those are good options.
Yeah, because honestly, I know my mom doesn't know how to use a QR code and to scan it with her phone.
Well,
So-
I'll also type the website out.
Right. So, and my mom doesn't have the internet in her house except for streaming. So no computer, nothing. So I'm trying to think for, everybody as much as possible, their mindset and what they can and can't do or
Depends
able to
on
do.
the survey. I don't know if we'd be able to just type it out, part of it, so they could cut it out and mail it in or drop it off.
From a collection standpoint and evaluation standpoint, this is all online.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they can do, and the reason that we talked about not putting a separate paper survey out, was the fact that then we have a certain amount of funds that are, and hours that are put into the proposal. If they're getting all of these paper copies, now they're spending time, just evaluating each one, putting them in columns, etc., versus doing real planning work.
So maybe if you need assistance filling this out, to email us or the office.
So, and that's exactly, so what the consultant is planning on doing is, he's gonna provide the the QR code, actually it's a shape. We had a change in personnel. So Kimberly is going to be the project manager. She's going to provide the QR code, which you should have shortly, according to her email she sent me this afternoon. And that once she has that done, she's going to put something together that you can actually just put into your newsletter that has kind of questions in it that makes people, hey, you know what, maybe I should look on this. So it won't have the exact questions, but it'll pique people's interest in looking at the survey. And then each survey, we're required under this grant application to do public participation. So this is the first part of public participation. So I'm gonna suggest that everybody try to at least get online. There's going to be something that, and I have to remind her of this, that says if you don't have a computer or don't know how to utilize this, well, there's instructions, but also you can call the borough office. So Bob, you may get a few phone calls. We will have paper copies for those
I was
people.
wondering, could we input for people that don't know how to use the QR code?
Yeah.
Just a
So-
Does it have to be submitted before Community Day? Is it something we on iPad at Community Day and
Well,
let people put in their?
Yeah, and what they were talking about doing is actually having a table at Community Day. So, and I've been involved with some of this where they put, by this point, by Community Day, they'll have concept plans, very, very basic concept plans. So you could actually take a Post-it note and put your comments on it. Or sometimes they put canisters out with 3 different alternatives, and they give you pennies or they give you paper money, and you put it in so that you get a consensus of what the best option is. So I don't know how Collier is going to do it, but I know that that's typically what the consultants do. So it should be interesting. They'll be there and they'll have the QR code that people can get on. I'm wondering,
Maybe they can even show them.
I'm wondering if maybe they could bring their laptop and maybe people can utilize it right then and there.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I didn't think of that while he was here the other
Yeah, I
day.
didn't either.
But yeah, I think it's a good idea.
And then our next meeting is May 6th that we're meeting. We have scheduled meeting dates of May 6th, June 3rd, August 5th.
Super, thank you so much. Any questions for Michelle? Moving on to Public Works, Ms. Allison?
Yes, ma'am. Just have two things real quick, not much. Just that I mentioned, the spring cleanup that was coming up at, last month's meeting. So this month Ryan's been already starting and working really hard doing the spring cleanups, weeding and mulching, especially the front of the building. So as always, thanks to him, for making us look so good, making it look so easy too. I know he works really hard. And then also at last month's meeting, I mentioned the speed bumps. So hopefully in the upcoming weeks, by early to mid-May, we'll have some streets seeing some speed bumps. So we'll keep you posted on that. And that's about it.
Super, thank you. Bob, did Mr. Smith leave anything?
No, Madam President. He was in the office yesterday. We chatted a bit. I really half expected to see him tonight, so no, I don't think he
Okay. Communications report, Miss Sarah.
Good evening. Council, please email me anything to add into the newsletter. The final draft is going to be put together this month and printed before the next meeting. The new officer cards, when they're finished, I'm hoping to get pictures of them and work on getting our trading cards printed and started. I'd like to put in there about the sinkhhole on Edgemont Avenue when that gets done, the QR code for Michelle's survey. I'd like to put in how Jay Wills got the top of the county. Congratulations. Just some of the recreation committee events, VIP dance and their schedule, the Borough Hall HVAC upgrade, thanks to the $75,000 statewide grant and our engineer and all the effort she put into that. How the borough makes donations to support the community and environment. And kindergarten registration, we had Tara Young reach out asking for the kindergarten registration to be put in there. And Michael Costigan's e-recycling event. So that's what I have so far. Everybody has copies.
It's fully packed. Chief, you'll get some photos.
And I'll have, the vehicle should be done, I'm hoping by the end of next week, we should have one of the cars back Friday, Monday, Tuesday at the latest. So the next couple of weeks, we'll have both vehicles, we'll get you those pictures too.
We're going to have our draft soon, so if you could take one photo just to show one vehicle, what it looks like.
I can do that.
Moving on, did Mr. Fisher leave a report?
Yes, ma'am. I have two.
Two checks?
Actually, yeah, there were 2 checks, but they've already been deposited. We've already spent it. The first one is March 19th to March 31st. Treasurer received a total of $260,651.24 to date. There was $127,606.04 in revenue deposits from March 19th to March 31st. The second one, the treasurer now has a total of $446,010.08. There was $185,358.84 in revenue deposits from March 31st to April 12th. I talked with Mr. Fisher today, expecting a big check next month, or next week.
I will reiterate what Mr. Bull said, spending is limited. Engineers report, Ms. Catania.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple things that I wanted to mention. I represent many municipalities and I always put down your trash because your trash and recycling is phenomenal compared to other municipal recycling rates. Most of mine are under 10%, and you're up at almost 20% of your waste stream. So that's a very positive thing, and I applaud you for it because it's not easy. So I just thought I would mention that because it's something that kind of goes unheard every month. I think you hear the number, it doesn't mean anything. It really does. You have in front of you a piece of paper that has, I was bored and decided to use my kindergarten skills now. Has a color-coded map of the paving that's been done from 2013 to 2024. Anything in white hasn't been done since 2013. So I thought I would share that with you. We do this every year, different color for each year. And I put 2024 on, but I don't know that anybody's ever seen this. This is what keeps me straight. I have one for you. And then I also gave you a cost estimate, and I know we have, about $40,000. So
like around 30.
I have 3 different, I have Beechwood from Norfolk to Edgemont, and I do have an update from Delcora. They did a video inspection of this sanitary sewer line. It is not sanitary sewer that has caused that issue. However, it's odd that when I went out there appears to be a circle that, like, there's an imprint right at where the hole is. And I'm wondering if it's not, that it's a hole that was done by PICO for, they do that for investigations of gas line or gas leaks. And so I don't know that there's no way to put water in the hole if the sanitary sewer is not defective. that we're gonna see anything. So my suggestion is if Beechwood is the street that you'd like to do, that we would just have them mill the roadway. We'll see what's underneath the wearing course and then react to it once we know. That's estimated at $37,000. I did, if you notice, Roland hasn't been done for quite a while. From Norfolk to Crozier is 24,300, and Roland Road from Crozier to Beechwood is 64,200. So I know we don't have that kind of money. It totals 125, but total is meaningless at this point. This is merely just to show you numbers, what it would cost to do various streets. If we can get a consensus, it doesn't need to be this evening, but if we can get a consensus, I'd like to be able to get this out to bid, get an authorization to bid in May, and get it out to bid so we have an award in June.
So Madam President, we only got like 30,000, correct?
Yes.
So my
Yeah.
suggestion would be do Roland Road from Norfolk to Crozier at $24,330. Well, we don't have no more than 30,000 to do.
We still have to pay for the LED lights, so let's
Yeah.
everybody keep that in mind. Once that's over with this year, I hope, we can move on to
Bigger things.
a little more progressive road programs. So I have to agree with Vice President. Any other comments, please? Allison? You good with that?
What's that?
You're good with that?
I am good with it, yeah, I was just engrossed in the map.
That's a good map.
Yes, I know.
Usually I do it every 10 years,
Yeah.
but I thought it would be silly for me to put one year road on.
No, it's.
Doesn't really help you.
So you said that the white part was the part that wasn't
It
there.
hasn't been done.
So
Are
that's
you
my,
looking at these too,
my,
Jay? Jay has.
that's my block then. I was just looking at that.
Yeah.
And then, but
So that, I mean, if there's another roadway, I can certainly look at it. That's what I'm saying. I don't need to have it this evening.
yeah,
I'm just thinking, you can almost gauge what the length of a roadway is based on this map to say, well, it's probably, if you looked at Elbon in front of our building, for example,
mhm,
that is a .12. That would probably be somewhere around $36,000, right?
wow,
The numbers is actually the mileage of that particular block.
okay.
You learn something new.
Yeah.
Things that you don't really want to know about what feels like five map, but
Engrossed in the map.
you will.
Council, I'd rather have a decision tonight so we can have the engineer prepare the necessary scope of work to move on to preparing bids and authorizing.
I agree with the vice president.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Fix the budget.
Yeah, I, as well, it does fit the budget, because the other amounts here, it's not in there.
Ms.
Yeah.
Sarah?
I mean, Norfolk to Crozier is in good condition, but I did check, I mean, Nick came out, circled the hole in Beechwood, and I did check, and there's no hole, it's just a small divot. And then if we were to put like a speed bump around that, so they slow down, we'd be able to push it another year.
So how about if I do this? Why don't I do Roland and we'll do an alternate for Beechwood, see what the numbers come out,
Okay.
right? And then you can decide from there.
And Doug, would you get us an exact figure for next meeting as to how much we can actually spend minus the LED light program?
And remember, you have a whole $1,500. So it's like
$1,480.
$1,480 from county aid.
Spend it all at once, folks.
The only question I would have is like in southeastern Pennsylvania, because I spend a lot of time on the roads. Most other townships, the roads are just shot. But we seem to be doing okay. Would you say, each road should be done every decade? Is there like a rule of thumb? Like, are we behind the 8 ball a little bit, where we should play catch up once things fixed? Or
You know what, you've been really lucky in the fact that for years, we had community development block grant money. And we did, I think, if I remember correctly, looking at the road program folder, we did like 3 community development block grant of like $100,000. So you were getting full lengths of roadways done, maybe 1 or 2 each year. So it's really helped you. I mean, there are some areas that we could certainly take care of. I have to certify that they're gonna last for 8 years. But so typically it's 10 to 15 before you actually repave a street, if you can get to that point. The other thing that I wanted to mention is this resolution for greenways, trails, and recreation. We spent a lot of time and money and effort from a lot of people for Woodlot. We've taken a lot of trees out of there, and we are, through the mini pros, going to have a very conceptual plan based on what residents want as far as activities, if you want to call it that, improvements up at the Woodlot. My thought is we need to take it one step further, take a look for a concept plan that shows here's where we should be adding trees and what type of trees. So it's almost like a nature-based concept plan for landscaping. A landscape architect would probably do this. And then not only that, but how do you maintain that? Because that's the part that we've always been missing. So the plan would have, here's what we want to do. There are trees that you can't plant in certain areas because of the wind direction unless they're protected. So there's a lot of things like that quite frankly, I don't know. I don't pretend to know. But that's why we have landscape architects. And I think if we were to do something like this grant's a 15% match. So it's something that I think is doable based on your set aside this year for grants. And I think in the long run, it'll help you because you'll have some document that says, here, we need to beef up this area, or we need to do this particular piece and move forward. Okay. And other than that, I can report, one more thing. I have in front of me the contract for the Edgemont Avenue storm sewer. So I should be hearing and putting together a pre-construction meeting for that project.
They should get the contracts tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
They should get the contracts tomorrow.
Yeah. So,
Super, that's always good news.
okay,
Thank you.
that's all I have. Thank you.
Moving on to the solicitor's report, Mr. Wills.
Yes, thank you, Madam President, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The April 16th Solicitor's report is as follows. Number one, the Council President did touch on that, and that is the intergovernmental agreement between the Penn-Delco School District and the Parkside Police Department. Council will be considering this evening under new business a proposed agreement regarding the future implementation of an automated school bus traffic safety enforcement program. The school district, again, plans to install cameras on all their school buses, which would, again, capture motorists who violate or overtake any school bus stopped on a highway flashing its red signal lights. Now, the program, if implemented, will basically make such violations zero tolerance. Parkside Police Department would work with the program coordinator to issue civil fines that could be upgraded to state traffic safety offenses for repeat offenders. Aston Township and Brookhaven Borough have already agreed to participate in the program. Other than that, other than the time it really takes an officer to view the camera system and approve the violations, there's really no cost to the borough. And again, the borough would in fact recoup $25 from every civil penalty that is paid. Again, this program is already in use in many school districts throughout Delaware County. Again, I highly recommend that Borough Council approve such an agreement this evening. The agreement would, of course, streamline enforcement operations while also going a long way to keep the children on our school buses safe while in the borough. Number two, delinquent trash fee accounts. Again, as a result of the borough's robust efforts to collect delinquent accounts, including the sending of legal notices to delinquent property owners, as well as the filing of municipal liens. The borough thus far in the past 60 days has collected approximately $3,000 in delinquent accounts. So we are making progress in collecting, again, those particular funds. Number three, Pennsylvania motor vehicle law changes. Again, I remind all our residents that beginning June the 5th, police will be empowered to pull over motorists who are using handheld cell phones while driving. On that date, police will be able to use the law as a primary reason to stop a motorist. If a police officer observes a motorist on a handheld phone or texting while operating a motor vehicle, again, the police can pull over the driver and issue a citation. Even if your vehicle is stopped in traffic, the law prohibits the use of a handheld cell phone. As we all know, distracted driving is a major source of traffic accidents. Now, the handhelds free law does include an emergency exception that if a motorist needs to communicate with law enforcement or other emergency services to prevent injury to persons or property, it may do so. So again, there is a limited exception. And again, under the first year, the police will only be issuing warnings, right, for a violation. After that, the fine will begin at $50 plus other court costs and other fees, generally resulting in a fine in excess of $100. So again, I know the law enforcement community is greatly behind this particular legislation that was overwhelmingly supported by the state legislature and recently signed into law by Governor Shapiro. And again, I think all our hearts and minds go out to Governor Shapiro and his family with regard to the most egregious incident that occurred over the past week. That is extremely disheartening, I think, for all Pennsylvanians. And then finally, number four, the State Ethics Commission. Again, I remind all our elected officials, all our publicly appointed officials, again, including members of the Zoning Hearing Board, the Civil Service Commission, right, that everybody is required to file a statement of financial interest on or before May the 1st, a mere 2 weeks away. So again, hopefully everybody is complied by, I don't know, but again, I would highly encourage everyone to make sure they get their statement of financial interest in Mr. Platt on or before May 1st. Make sure you get a timestamped copy for your own personal records. And with that, Madam President, I can report general progress.
Thank you, Jay. Call to citizens. Does anybody wish to address council?
Mr. Slogan, 142. My question is, PICO, do they have to notify us when they start digging?
Yes,
Okay. Do they notify Borough?
yes.
Okay. After they dig a hole, and they did one on our street, Roland, if it gets damaged or it starts to sink, do we have any recourse about getting that, say, refilled or, fixed again?
Nick, do you want to address that?
Up the street, right there on Blossom, they did work right
Yeah, I
there.
was not notified of any of that.
See, that's what I was saying. They came here about 2 weeks ago and they put some signs up. Then they drilled some small, I guess, pilot holes.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to one of the guys, they were looking for gas leaks, okay? They did, right there on Blossom, as you go up just between Blossom and my street, my block, there's they did patch it. My question is, do they have to come back and fix it if it starts to
They sure
sink?
do.
Yes.
They
Do
should
we-
have came here and got the permit, and that's our building inspector.
And our secretary just said he's not seeing any difference, so yes.
They've been back since, I know they've been back twice on that street. On my street, yes, they, because I told all the neighbors on that side that can park, I said, there's signs up, you better get your cars moved. And they were there then they came back about a week ago. And that's when they did some patching and I know they put at least one pilot hole.
I will be with Michelle. I'll contact Michelle.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know, I just wanted to know what the hell happens.
And that was the gas leak we were on fire call. Actually, the gas smell was coming out of the stop sign.
See, that was weird.
Stop sign.
The pilot hole was where if when you go up the street and where Blossom is, you'll see where they patched. And right next to it is where they put the one pilot hole. And then they used, Delcor came in, with just water came in with the blue. Now they just came with all the yellow. So they had marked off there too. So I did not know that they had to notify us.
They usually let that sit for a while. Once they dig up, gotta settle, and then come back in. And they should cut a 4-inch around there too, so everything's level. I will take care of that for you.
Well, it's just not me. I mean, I didn't know they even, I didn't know they even contacted. I thought the fire company would be notified. Since, it is gas, I figure, their safety.
Thank you.
Oh, no, that's okay. Thank you.
Of course, I would advise our Chief McEwen to certainly encourage our officers who are our eyes and ears out there on the street. If they see somebody digging, and whether it's Chester Water Authority, Delcor, Pico, whatever, simply communicate with Mr. Platt over there at the Borough Secretary's office and say, by the way, we have a contractor out there. Is the borough aware of it? And proper permits and authorization been performed thus far. Again, I think that would be helpful. Again, the police are always our eyes and ears. They're the ones patrolling the streets, again, theoretically 24/7. So let's make sure we keep the lines of communication open.
I don't see anybody else, so we're gonna move on to old business. New business. We have I'll entertain a motion to accept the intergovernmental agreement between Penn-Delco School District and the Parkside Borough Police Department.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved. Does anybody have any old business or new business?
I'll make a motion to adjourn this year.
Hope or not. Our solicitor touched base on the weekend fire with our governor. I just want to say that no elected official and their family should be jeopardized the way our governor was. It's deplorable. And I'm sure when we all heard about it, we were hoping that he and his family and his pets were all okay. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I personally have been very concerned that this could happen at that level. And I'm sure we all wish him well in the reconstruction of the mansion and for his future safety and his family and his pets.
Absolutely.
Well, it comes down to our level.
It comes down to our level and it's not necessary. That kind of violence is totally unacceptable.
Yeah, twice happened to me. Once they came to my house, saying I was going to be killed, and the other one just come up to my house. I don't know why she was there, but she was there.
There's no reason to get to that level, verbally or physically. We're elected officials trying to do the best we can do for our whatever our government is. And that's all I have, so you can go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Joe.
Sure, I'll add like 5 minutes, so I got April 5.